Hey guys, it's Jeremy here on Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What I have today, guys, is another glorious edition of Freddie Fridays. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What we do every week is a Freddie Friday channel or episode where we focus on Queen music and Freddie Mercury for the love of the music and the band, just keeping the memory alive in whatever small way we can. And for my existing Queen family and existing subscribers, welcome back to another episode. And if you're new to the channel, definitely check out my Freddie Friday playlist. There's got to be close to 100 videos there now, so definitely check those out if you're new to the channel. And join the family and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for a weekly video. So this week, guys, what I decided to do was go back to a WatchMojo video. We watched one of them about a month or two ago, and I just wanted to revisit one of their videos based on Queen. I think the last one was like 10 things you didn't know about Freddie Mercury. And this one's kind of a general video just entitled The History of Queen and Freddie Mercury. I'm pretty much sure we all know this information already. It'll probably be pretty basic. I just kind of wanted to check it out to see what they discussed and talked about. So let's jump right in, guys. In 3, 2, 1, Queen. Let's check it out.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're taking a look at the history of Queen. Comprised of vocalist Freddie Mercury, guitarist Brian May, drummer Roger Taylor, and bassist John Deacon, Queen formed in London, England in 1971. After a few delays, the band introduced their innovative style on their 1973 self-titled debut album.
Best rock debuts of all time. It's killer. One of my favorite albums by them.
Though critically well received, it sold poorly in the US. The next year's follow-up effort suffered a similar fate, though Queen 2 did give the band their first UK hit, 7 Seas of Rhye. Building momentum, Queen released a third album, Sheer Heart Attack, in November 1974. With more radio-friendly songs, this was their first commercially successful album, helped by the single Killer Queen.
Good song, but a little too mellow for me.
Moving away from the progressive rock sound of their earlier work, the band was developing what would become the classic Queen sound. 1975's A Night at the Opera increased Queen's mainstream recognition and became one of the band's most successful albums.
I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Galileo.
The short film that accompanied this song is often deemed the first true music video created for promotional purposes. Their popularity grew with their next few albums. 1976's A Day at the Races hit the top spot in the UK off the strength of the gospel-inspired single Somebody to Love.
So many hits.
That same year, Queen famously played a free concert in London's Hyde Park to a record-setting crowd of 150,000. By 1977, Queen was ready with News of the World, the album that spawned such anthems as We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions.
And those are two of their biggest hits for sure. Most everyone knows those songs.
Riding the high, Queen released Jazz in 1978, which featured the singles Bicycle Race and Fat Bottom Girls. Live Killers was a 1979 live album that showcased the band's unparalleled live performances. However, it was 1980's The Game that became Queen's best-selling album in the US, supported by the tracks Another One Bites the Dust and Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
It's interesting, their best-selling album in the US. I didn't know that. I thought it was one of their earlier ones.
They also opened the 80s by composing and recording the soundtrack for the science fiction film Flash Gordon. Keeping up the pace in 1981, Queen became the first major rock band to play in Latin American stadiums and released their first greatest hits album. They also teamed up with David Bowie to record the single Under Pressure, a song that would later appear on their 1982 record, Hot Space. 1984 marked the inevitable start of a decline in the band's US popularity. Though their '84 album The Works featured 2 hit singles, Radio Gaga and I Want to Break Free, it did not sell well in the States.
I want to break free.
I like how they completely glanced over Hot Space, just mentioned Under Pressure. but I don't like that album
The
at all.
next year, Queen performed what was arguably their best ever live show at London's Wembley Stadium for Live Aid. They finished
Killer
1985 by releasing the song One Vision, which was featured on the next year's album, A Kind of Magic. During the tour that followed, Freddie Mercury performed what would ultimately be his last show with Queen at Knebworth Park in July 1986. By 1988, the flamboyant vocalist of Queen had grown thin and emaciated. Rumors began to spread that he had AIDS. Rejecting the story, Mercury and Queen released 2 more albums, The Miracle in 1989 and Innuendo in 91. By November 23, 1991, Mercury could no longer deny the rumors about his health. A day after confirming to the public that he was suffering from AIDS, he died of bronchial pneumonia. The band regained prominence soon after with the re-release of Bohemian Rhapsody, and with that track's memorable inclusion in the 1992 film Wayne's World.
I'm sure they give the band a resurgence in sales
Queen's final
and stuff.
album with Freddie Mercury, Made in Heaven, was released in 1995. The Queen Rocks compilation came 2 years later and featured one new song, No One But You, Only the Good Die Young. In 1998,
He's a good singer too.
bassist
They're
John
all
Deacon
good
retired.
voices.
Between 1998 and 2009, Brian May and Roger Taylor kept the Queen legacy alive by performing with various guest singers, most notably Paul Rodgers of Bad Company fame. After an amicable split from Rodgers, May and Taylor began planning Queen's 40th anniversary, which would be celebrated in 2011.
I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva.
With a style that incorporated rock, opera, heavy metal, and more, Queen's music will continue to transcend both genre and time for years to come.
200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you.
Nice. Pretty good clip. Nothing too, mind-blowing there. It's pretty basic information. Kind of just went through their discography, told what the singles were, what the bigger selling albums were, etc. It's kind of what I expected, kind of more basic information. But I just wanted to check it out to see what they talked about. So I'll definitely check out more of these in the future. I'll see what other ones they have on here. I'll maybe check out another one in a month or two. So definitely leave some more comments down below, guys, of other things you want me to check out for Queen, whether it's a live version of a song, or if you want to have just a discussion about something relating to Queen, top 10 songs or something. Definitely shoot me down some ideas down below. And until next week, guys, keep it metal.